Hey there, folks. I'm Matt Hansen.
And I'm John Johnson.
And you're listening to
Planes, Trains, and Comic Books.
The podcast where we discuss favorites we've reread, both classic and new comics we want to read, and everything else in between.
And here's the comic we picked this week.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Planes, Trains, and Comic Books. Today, we are finishing up our spooky season with this fantastic book. I gotta say, I mean, I'm kind of like spoiling our review or whatever, but I fucking love this book. This is how a Dracula book should be, John. I was very happy that it was not the same.
I agree. After like the first one, again, kind of by the numbers, but also not quite hitting the mark for a Dracula tale. Again, this is from someone who loves Dracula stories. This one, just the cover alone kind of pulling you in, and then the story in this one was really fun.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I wanted Tinian to do with the first Dracula book we read this month. Which is give us something new, give us something different. It's still the same lore, but change it up a bit, make it interesting. I will say they're planning on doing multiple volumes of this. This is considered volume 1. It's called The Impaler. So it's literally the origin story of how Dracula went from Impaler to Dracula, which is definitely skipped over from what I remember in most anything about Dracula. It's just he was the Impaler. He got pissed off because he felt God betrayed him when he lost a battle or whatever. And then he, disowned God or whatever, did some kind of blasphemy and became Dracula. This fills in that gap of what the blasphemy was, what exactly happened, all that stuff. It's fantastic. And I got to say, Matt Wagner, have you read anything by Matt Wagner? I'm trying to think if we have.
I'm trying to think. I don't, nothing I can think of.
Nothing you could think of. He did. So he's really, in the 80s and 90s, he was really well known for being an indie creator because he created the character Grendel and the character Mage. Mage looks like Silent Bob, but a little bit buffer. You might have seen him. I don't know. He's definitely been in Kevin Smith, not Matt Wagner, but I think Mage has appeared in the background in Kevin Smith movies.
Yeah, I'm looking over his thing. We've talked about some of these, and I definitely have seen a lot of the characters, but I haven't read any.
Yes, he has some really fantastic Batman comics. One's called Batman and the Mad Monk, and the other one's called Batman and the Monster Man. Those are fantastic. Super hard to find, super out of print. I wish I hadn't sold mine when I had no money. Because now I'm I want them, and I thought they would be easily reprinted, and they are not. So, or easily found at least, but they're $20 a piece. I'm that's no, I'm not paying that. But on top of that, not only is Matt Wagner, who has written one of my favorite series, which is Sandman Mystery Theater, which we will get to for sure in this podcast. If you don't know, it covers the original Sandman while Morpheus was captured, right? And he's in
he's in the little sphere thing.
Yes, yeah, when he's in the glass sphere. I don't know if you remember, but he said some people there was one person that had dreams about him and then took that and became a superhero in the 50s and 40s or whatever. He was talking about Wesley Dodd, the original Sandman from the 50s and 40s.
Gotcha.
But this comic, it takes place during then. It was written in the 90s, but it takes place during the 40s. Actually, yeah. The late 30s. I think it only goes to late 30s. Maybe 40. But it's one of the best comics ever. It's 70 issues. There was only one story arc that I was that wasn't my favorite out of 70 issues.
That's pretty awesome.
And it was a 4-issue arc. It was a crazy hit ratio for how good it is. But so Matt Wagner wrote that, which is one of my favorite things. And we just haven't got to it yet in the podcast because there's a lot of stuff out there, So But well, you know what? I'm gonna make that a priority to hit that this year sometime. um, but and then the other great thing about this comic is the art is by the great, fantastic, amazing Kelly Jones, who is one of my favorite artists of all time. He did the Batman cover where Bane is breaking Batman's back.
Oh,
I
nice.
mean,
Yeah.
that is his most probably famous piece of work, just because that is such an iconic cover. But I mean he's one of my favorite Swamp Thing artists. Everything he does, I love it. I've never seen anything by him that I was like, garbage, or like I don't like it. So when I heard he was doing Dracula, especially, he's definitely tailored to like horror stuff. So um, when I heard he was doing Dracula with Matt Wagner, I'm like, I'm buying that regardless. And this came out on a Kickstarter campaign last year, but it was just released in softcover, which is what you got last week. So we kind of timed this out well. Like I was looking at it, I'm like, ooh, it comes out the week of the podcast. Let's do it then. And so
It's not often that we do like a brand new one on the podcast, like within usually the time it comes out. Like Matt, I'm sure if you guys have seen, Matt will review like the first issue or the first trade sometimes for our YouTube channel. But it's a rarity that we do like a brand new comic right when it comes out on the actual podcast. So this is definitely a fun thing to do too.
yeah, breaking news. Dracula's awesome. Dracula the Impaler is awesome. I will also want to mention the colorist of this, which, I mean, usually colorists or like letterers, some of the kind of extra art that's done in comics is forgotten about. Man, Jose Villarrubia did an amazing job on the colors of this. Like every page pops, every page looks fantastic. I mean, the black and whites from Kelly, I'm sure, are amazing, and I've seen some of them, and they are. But the way that he does the colors just it's perfect. It's sublime. It's amazing. So I love every page of this book. I was reading it on the train, and some of it was not train appropriate, but I didn't care. I was like, look at that fucking page. That's amazing. So yeah, also the thing that's nice is this came out like without any censorship lines or anything. So as far as like, if they're going to do it through DC or something, they have to be censored. I mean, even Image wouldn't let them show some things, but they kept it like, I'd say this is R. It's not like a hard R or anything. What do you think? Do you think it's a hard R?
I don't know movie wise, like how often, like if you have like,
it's hard because in film it's so violent. Like this is so violent. In motion, it might be hard R. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if this could be on Netflix, and I think it would just be a normal show. I mean, as far as the impact, yeah. So there you go.
If you've seen Game of Thrones,
oh, this is way less.
It's way less than Game of Thrones, like sex wise and stuff. I would say the violence is up there with Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
there were some pretty hardcore violent scenes in this that I was like, whoa.
He is the Impaler.
Yes, exactly. This is the story of the Impaler. So, so yeah, with that like lead in, let's get straight to it. Like it starts off with Vlad in like the last battle, for his, is it Wallachia he's fighting for? That's his like country or whatever.
Yeah, Wallachia, and because he is a proud member of the Order of the Dragon.
Yes. So he's obviously a badass. He's already impaled a bunch of people in this battle of Targost. I can't pronounce it. Targoviste. Targoviste. We'll say that.
Targoviste.
Yeah.
We'll call it that.
And it's 1492. I'm sorry, 1460. I'm an American. I want to say 1492 just because, Columbus sailed the ocean blue in
1462.
Yeah, in 1460. So 30 years before Columbus made his historic voyage. And yeah, so like he's obviously like crazy and a badass, but having impaled all these people, but his army is much smaller than the Turkish army that's coming up. And so he fights a good fight when they arrive. But they do overwhelm them, and I love this opening like introduction to Vlad. Like his man comes into his tent and is like, "We're outnumbered. I don't know if this is gonna work," and like he's just with a lady. It starts off with him in bed with a lady, and he's like, "Oh, let me like finish and I'll come out or whatever," and then and then like he he gets like overwhelmed by everything, and in order to make himself or make the enemies think he is dead, he has his a guy that looks a lot like him on the battlefield, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you come over here for a second?" And he chops that guy's head off, and then he puts his medallion on him, so that anyone who and puts his armor and everything on him too, and anyone who saw that would be like, "Oh, that's Vlad. So we got Vlad. We're good. We're all set."
Yeah.
Um, and then so then he escapes the battlefield with his trusty servant. What's his servant's name? I didn't write that down.
Constantine, or I didn't have an E at the end, so
it's Constantine.
I wasn't sure if it is Constantine. Okay.
Yeah, that's just another way to write it or whatever.
Write it, okay.
But yeah, so and what Vlad, like, he escapes and he has heard tell of, power. That's his whole thing. Like, he wants to conquer, the people that conquered him. He wants to get revenge. And he wants to get like unlimited power or whatever, like he just wants to be like the most badass. He wants to be Genghis Khan,
Yeah, basically.
like rule as much of the world as possible. So he's still trying to figure out how to do that. He's heard tell of like a thing, like a place you can go where you can learn how to become like an awesome, all the secrets, right, of the like how to be. How to obtain this power, right? So while him and Constantine, I always say teen because I'm American and that's how we say it. But I'm surprised people have not got on me too much on the podcast about how I pronounce John Constantine, because it is Constantine in the actual comic. In one issue, he was like, "It's Constantine," and he like rhymes with wine. Like he literally says that in the comic. But it was already like 60 issues after I'd been recording, so I was like, "Well, I'm not changing it now."
How dare you? Yeah,
like,
it's what, for American audiences, it's Constantine.
Yeah, I've never been in a comic book store where anyone's called it anything else in America. So, hey, you know what? When he talks, I say garage and I say twat. Like that's I pronounce things the aluminium. If that ever comes up, I'll say that too, because he's saying it. But
it's petrol, not gas.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so he's heard tell of these this place you can learn all this stuff to get powerful. And I don't know about you, but I thought this was not going to be supernatural until we got to that spot. But as they're walking through the woods, they get attacked by wolves, and this like, it looks like a vampire kind of. It looks like a Nosferatu that's like shredded, like comes out of the woods and like attacks them. And it seemed like they were like, oh, like we know about these things. Like they weren't super surprised by it. They're able to like light it on fire and it runs away. But what do you think about that supernatural right away?
Yeah, no, I was definitely surprised. Like they get surrounded by the wolves, and I'm like, okay, like this is gonna be like maybe him fighting some wolves, and then like realizing like I want to be a master of the beasts as well, because that's kind of a Dracula thing. But then having this like Nosferatu-esque, like you said, shredded beast come out and scare all the wolves away and then attack them, I did not see that out of the blue. So
if there's one thing Kelly Jones knows how to draw, it's an extreme amount of muscles. Like muscles that aren't real at all, but like they look so fucking cool on like when he really like distorts the body and like makes the rib cage super long and then adds all these like obliques and like little crevices where there's a new muscle that no one's ever heard of. Like it just looks awesome. He does that in Bane too, when Bane's breaking Batman's back. On that cover, you're like, what the fuck are all those bulges and stuff? It's like, those were his muscles.
He's so strong, he's added extra muscles.
Yeah. His muscles have muscles, all right? That's what it is. So.
Exactly. It's like that old Popeye where, like pops up and then it goes pop, 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 pop on top of him.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's like a stopgap between this place he's heard about, because he doesn't know how to get there. So he's like, I got to figure out how to get to this like power center. And so he knows there's like a witch. And he's like, okay, we got to talk to this witch. She knows, like if I get her to tell me where this place is, that's all I need to do. So he goes there, and this this is like your standard hag. I mean, what do you think of Kelly Jones' witch drawing abilities?
Oh, I absolutely love this. Like, yeah, very much like what you think of like an old, like almost like the from Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, where she's like in the black robes and whatnot, like very like old crone witch, and yeah, very creepy. But I love this entire like this entire scene of how this goes down.
I do too. I was very surprised actually because I'm reading it on the train. I'm like, oh, okay, like witch. I mean, there was a little bit of nudity, like when he was having, his relations with the lady in his tent earlier. But it was very like easy to block that out. But then I'm like, oh, witch, cool. And I turn the page. I'm like, oh, I gotta like cover this a bit because it's like a giant naked woman on it. Because basically he's like, I want to know. Um, like I want to know where this place is. What, like, how could you like tell me what it is, hag? And she's like, I'll only tell you where it is if you sleep with me. And he's like, like I love how it's like, I really, really, really need power. Like I really want power. So I guess so. And I mean, like they draw this old hag crone lady like naked and like like very, very, very naked. And then luckily for him, I'll say, because I kind of thought it would be funny if he had to have sex with her like that, like the old naked lady, but she transforms into a more pleasing form.
Yeah, it's very. This is very Game of Thrones. It's like, was it Melisandre? You know, like her original form is very, like she's been a witch for thousands of years or whatever. So she's like, okay, well, this is my hot and sexy body for nowadays. Just so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it, but
Yeah.
I was happy. I was like, okay, like we get the buxom, what she used to look like, I guess. But that's probably the illusion, right? The old lady is what she actually looks like. But
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
she has her way with him, and so I like afterwards, like he wakes up, he's like, "What the fuck happened?" And he's like all cut up and everything, and like it looks like she just dug her nails into like every bit of his flesh and left all these scratch marks and stuff. Um, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. And so this is kind of like a quest format where he's got to like go to the witch who tells him to go to this thing, who tells him to go to this thing. And there, so like he gets like the next stopgap because she tells him, no, you fulfilled your bargain. Now I'll tell you where to go.
Lake.
Yeah, there's like what is it called?
Lake, was it Hammerstad?
Yeah.
Hermannstad?
Hermerstad. I don't know. It's some German name or whatever. But he goes there, and there's like, I don't even know. This monster is super creative, and like I was like, I don't even know what you would call this thing. Like it's got a serpent bottom. It's got an ogre head coming out of its chest, but it also has like a like feed me Seymour. What's that? Plants?
Oh yeah, like Audrey too, kind of head, but also like, but muscly. This is a very, like you said, this is a very creative and unique creature.
Yeah. So this guy's like, oh yeah, like I'll show you like where the entrance of this place is. Is that what it is? Or I can't remember exactly. Like he's walking around the edge of the river. Oh no, it is. He needs to find the lake itself, right?
Yeah, it's basically this is to make sure he gets passage, and in order to do that, he must make a sacrifice.
Yeah, and the one thing I liked is the whole time they've been traveling, his friend or his like I'll call him like his butler or whatever. He's been like, you're the greatest, bro. Like I don't know what I would do without you. And immediately, if Vlad or someone like that is telling you that, in a comic especially, that guy, there's going to be a point where it's going to be like sacrifice that guy, and Vlad's going to be like, yeah, no problem. Like, and so that's what happens. Like this monster, this ogre snake thing is like, well, I'm going to need you to do a sacrifice of blood, for something that you care about. And Vlad's like, cool.
I love that Constantine's like, don't worry, I'll stand up for you. And he's like, you won't have to do anything. And Val's like, actually, and then just stabs him through the back.
Yeah, just stabs Constantine right through the back. Oh, the best part is he has to cut off Constantine's head, and Constantine is crying, like his tears coming out of his fucking head, his eyes, as he's like his head is being given to this monster to eat. He like literally sucks his skin off of his face, which was pretty fucking awesome. Pretty metal. I thought it was pretty metal myself. So yeah, he's given passage to this lake that's supposed to be like cursed somewhere around there. There's supposed to be gates to this area. What's it called? The Scholomance. The Scholomance. Which I'm assuming is like school of mance, of magic. Probably German or something like that.
It sounds German.
Yeah. So he goes around and he can't find no entrance around this lake. He does a whole like trying to find some, and also I should say the Scholomance is run by like Satan, like Lucifer. This is a dark arts school, right? This is Slytherin. This is where they come from, right? So, and so he's trying to find it. He can't find anything, and he just basically like camps out and has to eat like squirrels or rats or something. Like he just has to catch little animals because he has no weapons. And then when he thinks he's like, well, I guess I'm just gonna die here, a little kid pops up out of nowhere with black eyes, all Omen style, and he's like, oh, I've been expecting you. You're late. And it's like, well, where the fuck were you for the last? I've been sitting here eating rats. I'm not late. You're late. What do you think of that? Like the design of Satan in this?
I love it. I love it. He's got these long red flowing robes that, are obviously way too large of clothes for this little kid. But like, yeah, something about a child in this like pale, again, like with the coloring of this like kind of like pale-ish, purplish, with all black eyes. It's very creepy. And then though again, when he comes into frame and he speaks and his little text boxes are like scratchy and red, it very much gives that sinister tone. It's very cool.
Yeah, I loved it. It reminded me a lot of like the Endless and Sandman or something, like they have similar look with like the super, it's so pale, it's like reflecting the blue off the water, like that's how pale your skin is. But yeah, so he's like, cool. And he tries to like, doesn't he try to like kill him? He attacks him.
Yeah, he's basically like you're Satan, you're Lucifer. I don't know about that. Like, I need proof because you look like you look like a child.
Yeah. And when he tries to attack him, Lucifer just turns the sword into nothing. And so he's like, all right, checks out. Right. So he descends into, is it like, I don't know, there's like an opening that I guess happens, or they don't really show where the entrance of this place is, but it looks like a cave entrance when he walks into it, but it might be like an illusion or something, or I'm not exactly sure where it is, because people leave and stuff, so it's got to be accessible through the woods or whatever. But so he goes into this place, and the Scholomance, like the devil said, is like, it's already been happening. He's late, so there's already people there. There are like 7 other people, something like that. There's a bunch of other people, like people who want power, trying to learn stuff. And like, some of them are from like Viking areas, like Norway or whatever, and some of them are from Africa. And like all of them want power for different reasons. What'd you think of that? Like, I thought all these guys were going to be evil, but like some of them had like, oh, I'm doing this so I can like save my family or whatever. I'm like, I don't know if you should make a bargain with Satan.
Well, I think that's kind of the point too, because like in the midst of this, so that's what these people are there for. But then Satan has ulterior motives too, where he's like, one of you will basically become like my right hand guy.
Yeah,
and
on Earth or whatever.
Yeah, so like y'all get to, and it's interesting because it's like, there's like all of these dark books. He's like, you can study these and you can like practice this, but like Also don't help each other. Like there will be, that is like the one main rule is like you can all talk or whatever, but don't actually help with like each other learning.
Help or sabotage. You can't sabotage either.
Yes. Yeah, like which is very interesting.
Yeah, I guess it's like you should get there by your own means or whatever. Because if you're going to be the actual champion of Satan on Earth, you can't cheat, right? So,
Yeah.
although I don't know. I mean, I would say, well, we'll get to that later on. I feel like Vlad cheats a bit, but
Oh, he does.
yeah, but that's what I mean. Like there's a rule, but you would think, Satan. If you break Satan's rules, I mean, what did he expect? He's Satan. There aren't no rules in hell or whatever, So, but anyway, we meet a bunch of the people and like learn about why they're there. And also, one interesting thing is each person sees Satan differently. So, like where Vlad saw him as a little kid, some people see him as like a one-eyed dragon snake thing. Some people see him as like an imp. Yeah, because there's like a Shakespeare-looking guy from England who sees him like an imp, like a normal stereotypical devil or whatever.
Yeah, and I like was it the guy, the Viking guy, kind of sees him basically as Loki.
Yeah. The Viking guy sees him as Loki, which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get to see Vlad learning. This is it's not a montage because it actually takes time to show you what he's learning, how he's getting that knowledge. But this is essentially all the powers that Dracula gets, or that you see later on, like him turning into a bat or a wolf, him turning into mist or fog and that kind of thing. He learns all that stuff here. So you see him kind of like practicing, and he's also way better at it than everybody else. And did you think that's because of something special about him, or is it just pure like will, power, and drive?
That was my thought. I feel like I kind of went at it like as like the Doctor Strange way. Like he is very much like, I am going to amass all of this and knowledge and power as quickly as possible, and like so like he's just pushing himself. That's kind of the way I looked at it, because like as like someone's like doing this and he's like, oh, that's cool, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do it better. Yeah, so that really just seems to be his drive, is like I'm going to learn everything I can and be the best
As fast as possible.
Evil. Yeah, as fast as possible.
Yeah, it seemed like everybody else didn't really have a fire under their ass or whatever like he did. And that's kind of like, I guess, what sets him apart. Now, during this time, I guess he catches the eye I guess because he's like such a good student, he catches the eye of another student there. Her name is Nakaisha. Nakaisha.
Oh no, Nakaisha. Yeah,
Yeah.
Marta was the sorceress.
Yes. So Nakaisha is she African or is she Middle Eastern? I'm not 100%.
Yeah, she was the one from Africa. Saw him as a like a one-eyed lizard, and
That's right. So she's like, "Hey, we should bone or whatever." Like basically, she comes on to him and he's like, "Cool, sounds good
basically.
to me." And so they start, they have a whole relationship. Now this is where I'm like on the train reading this, and there's like multiple pages of them in bed and stuff and nudity and everything. I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, I gotta go read what's on the page. Like, calm down, But yeah. So, I guess it's just that relationship is just there. It doesn't have very much to do with anything other than it just sets up like a story point that happens later on.
Yeah, it's more satisfying carnal needs of the Impaler.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, while he's in hell learning, he's gonna be horny or whatever. So
Yeah.
And it's hell. Like these people are in hell training or whatever. like I'm surprised there's just not blood orgies every night. You would think that. It's like if you join a frat or something, you expect there to be just like debauchery every night, but then you find out it's just playing ping pong or whatever. I don't know. I've never been a part of a frat, but I imagine old school. That's what, that's the only movie I have reference to, that or Van Wilder, right? There's, um, but yeah. So we see like their relationship growing. Dracula is quickly becoming Lucifer's favorite student, and he's even like kind of showing everybody else is kind of jealous of him because of that. Because also like Lucifer will stop in every now and then and be like, show me what you got. And then like if you're not doing well in your studies, he's like, look, you're gonna get expelled if you can't keep a C average at least, right? Like we have standards in hell. Like he doesn't say, I'm paraphrasing, of course. This is just like the gist of it, but it's a little bit more serious than that. But what do you think of that whole like class dynamic? Like Lucifer is not watching. Like I would assume it's kind of like Lucifer's watching the whole time. Like he why wouldn't he know what's going on at any moment in this place? But it seems kind of like in Lord of the Rings, where like if the eye is not on you directly, he ain't seeing you. So like, what do you think about that?
They do kind of make it seem like that, like it's all like he, when he comes in, he's like, okay, now show me stuff. That's when he sees like how they're doing. He's like, all right, well, you suck, get better, or else, I have the highest standards for my dark scholars. Yeah, so it's interesting. Like, I guess he's a busy guy. He got souls to take and other people.
That's true. He's running hell.
Yeah. So, but I really do like the showing all of Dracula as far as like him learning and him picking up things fast. I love him. Like they show him out with like wolves at one point, and he's basically like creating dominion over all beasts, and it's just very cool. And they even like coin some of he's like, oh yeah, it's the children of the night, so they have some of those like very classic-y tidbits for Dracula in there too.
Yeah, it's literally like the origin story of where all that stuff comes from, which I liked a lot. I was like, anytime that stuff happened, I'm like, that's why he can talk to wolves. That's why he can turn into mist. That's why he can control stuff. Like, it was very cool. So one of these guys, his name, I don't remember what it is. He's the Nordic guy. He's got a big old beard, and he tries to like step up to our man Vlad, and Vlad's like, oh, you think you can even like try to touch me? I'm like way better than you. And he like, turns his beard into like a beard of snakes. And then the snakes start biting his face, which I thought was pretty awesome. I'm like, that is a way to go. I mean, it doesn't kill him, but it like his face is pretty messed up after that, which I thought was fun. But yeah, so we get the training more. We get them sleeping around more together, their relationship growing. And then there's one part I really liked. The artwork's pretty cool where he's like working on like transmutation or whatever. So like he's working on transmorphing or whatever into, or what is the word I'm sure.
Yeah, transforming.
That's the word. Transforming into the different types of things he can turn into. So like he can, I think that's what she can do, right? She's working on that. So she helps him learn how to transform because she turns into like a cheetah or whatever.
Oh no. It's almost kind of the other way, because he apparently has been able to do this, and she's like, look, I finally was able to
You're right.
do this. Bad. And she looks pretty good. She definitely is very creepy looking, like cheetah jaguar creature, but also incorporated with her. But then he's like, that's cool and all, hope, but let me tell you, I've actually been able to do this for a while. And he just and like he rips off his face.
He literally
so cool.
rips the skin off his face and reveals a giant bat creature, which looks terrifying. So yeah, that's like the setup for that. Also, where did the supernatural being that they fought at the very beginning, was that from the witch, or what was that from? Did they explain that later? They do, right?
Yeah, I think basically it was something to do with like the alchemy or something, like it was created.
Yeah, I think Satan or whatever. Yeah, these are like, I guess, different varieties of not vampires, but like something like a proto vampire that came out of this. But either way, Vlad, I think his lady goes on. She goes to like learn something about what is it? Like she goes to like learn medicine or something. She goes and gets snake venom. That's what it is.
Snake venom.
She's
Yeah.
like, I need some snake venom for this thing. I gotta go get it. So she goes out into the world and gets some snake venom. And he's like, while she's gone, I got a great idea. I'm sick of competing with these fucking idiots that I have to go against. I'm going to go back to what I know best. And what I know best is impaling motherfuckers. So he decides to kill all the people that he's in this school with besides the woman he loves. Actually, he does decide to kill her because he actually gets a spike for her because he thinks that she betrayed him. I can't remember.
Yeah, because
why.
he talks to because the one thing that Satan said, if you like need help, then you can ask the mirror for like guidance, like a handful of times or whatever. Everybody can like tap into that. So like, yeah, he's been like out practicing controlling the weather and stuff, and then he comes in. He's like, I something feels off. People are like, I feel like people are talking behind my back. What's going on? And then yeah, that's when he talks, and it's like your fellow students are launching an insurrection against you, and they will betray you. And he's like, all of them, and the mirror's like, all, even her.
That's right. Yeah, the mirror is the one that like turns him against her. And so as she's away, he's like, okay, I'm going to kill everybody. And then when she comes back, I'll kill her too. And so he poisons all of them. He's like, hey, everybody, I got some wine. You guys like wine? And they're like, Vlad's being weird, but I guess so. And he even like drinks it in front of them. So I was like, did he build up a tolerance to the poison? Like what's his face from Princess?
Like Princess Bride.
Yeah. But either way, he poisons everybody. They die. He impales them. And Lucifer comes and is like, what happened? And then he's like, you know what? This is pretty sick. You're awesome. This is why you're my favorite. Like that was actually the real test, basically. What'd you think of that whole scene?
I don't think you could have explained that any better. I love the way you just said that because this is basically like, oh man, this is crazy. What the hell happened? You know what? This is actually pretty badass.
Yeah, that's basically
it. In his more like regal tone because he's Lucifer or whatever, but still, that is pretty awesome. He's like, yeah, I recognize this handiwork.
Yeah. Game recognizes game.
Yeah, like let me show you something. This is this is something I haven't told anybody yet. Since everybody's dead and you're basically not only are you're the badass, so yes, you're the winner, but also you're winner de facto. Everyone else here is dead. Come with me. Yeah.
So he takes him down to show him like, I guess what's going to happen during the apocalypse that like, I guess he's training his, main acolyte for, who would be Vlad. Vlad's supposed to get the world ready for the apocalypse, and then the apocalypse happens and he's like, let me show you what I got in store for the world. And so he takes him down into the depths of this place, and he shows this giant fucking dragon that's got like a T-Rex head, but it's awesome. It's like one of the coolest dragons ever. The coloring on this dragon is so cool. If you know Richard Corbin, if you know that creator who did Den, who you might know, which is a story you might know from the old heavy metal 80s movie, the cartoon, the section that John Candy voices, where there's like a kid that turns into like a warrior who just goes around naked, like killing things in this world he goes to. That like the coloring in that is specifically exactly like this. Like it's very like it's like every shade of the rainbow hits this dragon depending on how the light is reflecting off of it at any time, at any given time. So what do you think of this whole like dragon artwork, everything?
This is one of the coolest splash pages. Not only the coloring of the dragon, he is like the dragons that sometimes they have a little bit of smoke or whatever coming out, but his smoke plume while he's sleeping is massive coming out of his nose. They are like the size of a scale or two on him. Like they're tiny compared to this giant creature. Yeah, it is very cool. This is a very cool splash page.
Yeah, and one thing I like is that Vlad is so badass, and he's like, I don't even want to be like your servant. So he, in secret, has been learning about how to kill Lucifer potentially, from all the books and everything in this library. and he made a dagger. Is it a silver dagger? I don't know what he made it out of, but he stabs Lucifer in the chest. And as he does, Lucifer's like, the hell? Like, and then he turns into like actual, I guess what Lucifer, one of the ways he looks, which is like way more demonic. He's got like a necklace of skulls that scream out and like, like he just looks super badass. And he says like, you dare, try to hurt me. And so this is it right here, how he becomes Dracula. He's like, I'm going to curse you. Like, if you're so bloodthirsty, like, try this fucking blood. And he cuts his finger, sticks it into Vlad's mouth, makes Vlad drink the blood of Satan, which gives him the eternal thirst of the vampire. And so that is how...
Insatiable, yes.
Yes, that is how he becomes Vlad the Impaler / Dracula. So he leaves that place cursed, and then comes back up to the like hall where he impaled all the other students, and his girl Naki, she sees it and is like, oh my god, like all the people are dead. And he's like, oh yeah, they tried to betray me, but like we're cool, right? And then she's like, well, I know you were gonna kill me too, because there was like an unused spear for the impaling. And so she knows that he was planning to murder her too. And so he's like, fine. And he was like, bites her neck because like he's got the thirst now. And he gets like the long teeth and he kills her. He rips out her throat, drinks her blood. Yeah. And that's it. Basically, like, that's how he becomes Dracula. They're like, this is how you will be for end of time. And they set up a little bit of like what's going to happen in the next book. But basically we see him, he's learned all he can. He is now considered like Lucifer's, hand on earth to prep for the apocalypse. And he's just supposed to turn, people, grow the army of Lucifer in Transylvania and all these places. So he comes back. And the first thing he does, which is great, because this is why I like this. This is very like why he went there. It makes sense. After all the training that he did to get revenge, he doesn't just forget that. It seems petty now because he has all this power and everything that he would remember, hey, that Turkish guy that I lost that battle to. But he does. So the first thing he does when he comes back to Transylvania is he goes to the like tent of that warlord from Turkey and he kills him. He rips out his throat and takes back his dragon medallion that the guy took from him. And then he goes to set up a castle in Transylvania. And that is where we're left off with Dracula by Matt Wagner and Kelly Jones. So, John, what did you think and what would you give it?
I absolutely loved it. Hooked in right from the beginning. The art in this is very, you were kind of saying, like you said, the old heavy metal. This is very reminiscent of a lot of the 70s horror books like Eerie and Creepy and whatnot. And the art, along with obviously again the coloring on this, every single panel was just a brim with whether if it's got to be hushed tones, and so it's just like really pale blues and purples and different shades in and out of the white to like the not almost techno color of the apocalyptic dragon. Everything across every single page, no space wasted, no colors wasted. Everything looks beautiful. Everything is thought out and purposeful, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. The story, very cool. Like, there's no downtime. There's no and it's not a montage. Like, you actually see him him doing this thing and how that helps him get this power that Dracula has, and him doing this thing and how he knows that gets that, and it shows him like gaining those throughout, and that's just, it was very cool. I loved every second of this one. A very quick read, surprisingly, but very cool, and I am 100% going to finish this and probably buy it all in some kind of hardcover when it all finishes. Do you know how many books they're going to be?
They haven't
Have you
said how
seen
many
that?
it's going to be, but I know that. So 2 is out right now on Kickstarter to be backed. So
I saw that, yeah.
and you can also get Volume 1 in hardcover on that campaign. So if you want the hardcovers, I think they're only going to release the hardcovers in on Kickstarter to make that like a special thing. But it's released digitally or the first volume is released digitally and in soft cover with like a different color scheme on the cover right now. So you can get those. But if you want the hardcover, you got to back the Kickstarters of book 2, which is out right now. I think the campaign ends pretty soon though. So definitely get in on that if you're interested. And you can also get book 1 in hardcover on that as well.
So for me, this is a 10. This is a solid 10. Like I'm all in on it. Like I said, a Dracula story and one this well written, this well drawn. Just everything was beautiful about it. 10 for me.
Oh yeah, we agree on something finally. This is a 10. This is a 10. 100%. This is like what comics are perfect for. Like, if this came out in a movie, people would be like, that's not Dracula's lore, blah, blah, blah. But like, because it's a comic, you give it a little leeway to like, take me away. Take me to this world of Dracula, where like, it lets you be creative, kind of away from the eyes of people who would shit on it or whatever. So like if it was a movie or, a TV show or something, everybody's got an opinion, but this is like the perfect medium to do this kind of thing. And it's done beautifully. The art, amazing. Story, like you said, it's a fast read, but not because it's sparse or, they, didn't do a lot of writing. And it's like, well, the writing that's there is perfect. Everything on every page is perfect. Like there's nothing missing and the colors are perfect. Everything's good. So like this is exactly what comics are for. 10 out of 10. Both me and John. That doesn't happen very often. I can't think of another book we've both given a 10 to.
I'm trying to think. I know I don't remember the grades, but I know we're pretty in agreement on like We Three, some of the Batman ones.
Yeah, somewhere we're agreed on, but a 10. I can't think of
10,
10s that we've given. So, but yeah, so speaking of that, as far as grading and stuff, if you remember back at issue 1 or episode 1 of this podcast, we established what our 5 was, and that was Batman Hush. That was the first book we ever did for this podcast. And as our 5-year anniversary comes up next week, that is what we will be redoing. Not redoing, we'll be retouching, we'll go back to it. And like we're going to reread it. We're going to see if it's still a 5. Is it lower, higher? We don't know. We're going to give our thoughts about maybe the first podcast a little bit. And also like maybe we were stupid and like completely missed the ball on the original podcast and our tastes have changed now or something. So we will we'll reevaluate. But that's going to be a fun episode.
Yeah, very much looking forward to that. I can't believe we've been doing this for 5 years. This guy has been my best friend for so long, and I really enjoy doing this. I'm glad that we've been doing it for so long, and I'm glad that people have taken interest. We really appreciate all of the listeners and especially all of our patrons.
Of course.
We're very appreciative of you. Y'all keep the lights on. And if you want to become a patron, it's patreon.com/planes, trains, and comic books, all one word. You get, and you know this because you're a patron.
This is the Patreon episode. We usually don't do this spiel on that. Although I do want to thank the patrons, Hoku, Otaku, Mike, Christian, Matthew, Kyla, Joseph, Kalia, Isaiah, and Kevin. You guys are awesome, and thank you.
Yeah, we truly appreciate it.
Yeah, so we'll save the rest of that spiel for the next episode that's free. But thank you again, guys, and we hope you enjoyed Dracula. And definitely check this one out if you're at all interested. You will not be disappointed. Both gave 10s. That is so rare. I can't even think of a book that we've done in 5 years the same. So yeah, we will see you guys on the next one.
On the next one.
Bye.